Hello everyone. Today I'm gonna talk about some tips and tricks about the epic projects in Simcity Buildit. So it's 2020, June of 2020, and right now the points for getting the epic projects or the buildings is 40 points for the turtle token, that is the bronze one, 100 points for the silver, the llama token, and 200 for the gold token, that is the cheetah one. So that is right now, because previously the points were different 2 3 years back. So now that is what it is. So I will show you the epic project that I'm currently running. So you can see I'm currently in 150 points and I'm doing the specialization in entertainment, and I am trying to get the gold token, that is the cheetah token. So I will share some of the tricks and tips that I have found. Let me show you my gold tower. This is the gold token supply tower that I recently have, and currently I have buildings, entertainment buildings, that is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8, total 8 building, one with the 4-star, and 1 2 3 4, there is another one here, this opera house, 4 building with 3-star. So I think that is okay for starting the epic project. So I will share the tips and tricks with you right now. Number one tips is to choose your specialization wisely. I have chosen the entertainment building because I have enough uh, buildings which giving me 3 and 4-star. I don't count the 1 or 2 because those are not much useful for the epic project. So I would say at least you should have 5 buildings which is having more than 3 points, 3 or more than 3 points, like 3 or 4 or 5. So currently I only see 4-star buildings in my entertainment building slots. So that is it. And just recently I have this football stadium, bought this football stadium, and so I think this is a good time to start it. And really this gold tower which I got without this 4-star building was really hectic. So that is tip number one: choose your specialization very wisely. If you don't have it, change it and use it, and do the epic project in the specialization which where you have enough number of building with 3-star or above. Number two, tips number two is you need to have enough simoleons to before you start the epic project. The reason is you have to buy a lot of items from the global trade, because you cannot make or produce all the items from the factory or the shop that you will need during your 200 points. That is quite impossible, because some of the items like the fire pit, or you can see like this beef, these are taking so much time, 2 3 hours. So that is very difficult. If 2 or 3 tasks comes with this uh, meat or this beef, fire pit, then it will be very difficult to complete 200 points. So you need to have enough simoleons. Like I'm in level 28, for me 150,000 is enough for one epic project for 24 hours, I think. Right now I have more, but I think that is a minimum simoleon you should have. Tip number 3: keep good amount of speed of tokens like gold and silver to boost up the speed during the 24 hours working time. I recommend at least 5 to 6 gold and 2 to 3 silver token if you have all rare items ready in your storage. That is tip number 3. Keep enough speed up tokens for the epic project. You will need it. Tip number 4: plan early. You have to fill up your storage with rare items that usually not seen in your global trade. Like you can see I have made this cupboard, then cheese, and obviously fire pit. I have already used some of those because I already had 10, so now I have 5. I've used 5. And also maybe some of the cases I find out from the global trade and bought it. So during the project you also have to see the global trade to see your items, rare items, and keep it in your storage. So that is tip number 4. You have to have enough rare items which takes time or which are not usually seen in the global trade HQ here in your storage, so that whenever they ask you can give it immediately. Tip number 5. Start in a time where you can make 80 to 100 points before you go to bed. The first 100 points you should make by 6 or 7 hours, because those are the easy ones and easier ones, and other ones get more difficult, and also the item numbers increases. Like when you start the game, it only warns 1 or 2 or 3 number of items. Increases the point you get more, it like becomes 4 or 5, the same things become 4 or 5. So you have to start the project in a time before the bed, maybe evening you can start, so that before going bed you can get your 100 points, and the next day the next 100 points you can collect. So that is another point, that is you should have to choose your suitable time where you can be more efficient, and obviously you have to sleep a little less that day. Less than 6 hours will be preferred, at least not more than 6 hours. Tip number 6. Look for items in the global trade HQ. Most of the time you have to spend looking for items in the global trade HQ. If you want to make the items required for each task, it is impossible. If you want to make it in your factory or your shop, for getting a gold building, it's quite impossible, I think, because some of the items like fire pit and others, or some of the cases cheese meats, those 2-3 hours, so you need to have those in your stock. Or for the global trade, sometimes your stock will finish, right? You cannot keep all the things in your stock every time, so you have to look for the items in your global trade. That is the most important thing, and you have to remember, you have to keep yourself in looking in the global trade most of the time. Like 80% of the time you have to be in the global trade HQ for looking your items. So that is tip number 6. Look for items in the global trade HQ. Most of the time you have to spend in the global trade HQ. Tip number 7 is better to have a feeder city to supply you with the small items like textile and planks, which are very common ingredient for some big items and also takes time to make. Like planks maybe 30 minutes initially if you don't upgrade the shops, and those you will need very often. Like you have to make the tables, you need planks. If you want to make the wooden furniture like garden furniture, you need planks. So these are appearing, so you can have a feeder city. It's very helpful. And I have another feeder city that's not a hack one. I don't hack anything. I just, it's like a second base. It's in level 8, and I just making some small items and storing some of my items from here, which are like the, what you say, the expanding, the area expanding items, like the pipes, the, sorry, the pipes and the crane shaft, or those things. So those I'm keeping in that second base, and that's what I'm doing with my second base or the feeder city. I'm just keeping some of the items and getting some of the hammers and the tips from those from that city. So that is sometimes helpful. So tip number 7 is have a feeder city. Tip number 8 is having a helpful club. If you are in a club where the members always help you whenever you ask for items, they can give you, then it's a very good and very helpful, because if you get some of the items, it will be a bonus for you. So be a very in a very helpful club. Tip number 9, this is actually a sequence that is seen in the SimCity. That is, the items are appeared in the task repeats. That means when you see one item, suppose this is the cooking utensils, this will repeat, so you have to make more of these for the uh, future task, or you have to look for in the global trade HQ. So anything you have to do, so you have to keep it in mind that these might appear in the next tasks in a more higher number. That is tip number 9. Tip number 10, this is actually the most important tip for the SimCity, because currently this is happening. I'm not sure what it is, but you can say this is one kind of task coming programming done by the SimCity authority. The thing is, when a task comes, suppose this is one task, it came to you and you didn't do it, and you are doing other task for other 4 or 5 tasks, and then in another building this same task will appear. Like in this case, the baseball stadium is having this cooking utensils, and then I didn't do it, and in the soccer stadium it appeared again with the same number. If I don't do in the soccer stadium and the baseball stadium, and I complete the other ones, it will keep on coming on the other buildings too. In my last project, I ended up with 4 buildings having this chocolate bar. This new shop came to this season, and I didn't have the ingredient and didn't have the time to make it, and these were not available in the global trade. For 1 and 2 hours I looked for it, it was not there, so I gave up. I had to give up. So this is a sequence you have to understand, and you have to keep it in mind that if you don't do a job in one building, it will appear in another building very soon. So what my advice is, don't let it happen. This is number 1. This what I am following right now. Whenever a building is giving me a hard item task, I'm doing it first. Even if I have other buildings items ready, don't do it unless you have a storage problem. Don't do it. First, complete the building that is giving you very difficult items that is not been seen in the global trade, or you cannot make, maybe it takes more time, like fire pits, like those things. So in those cases, try to keep those things in the storage. That's why I kept fire pits in my storage, and try to do those first, otherwise it will repeat. So don't let it happen. Another thing you can do, that is the opposite, you can let it happen. Like when you're getting an easy item, suppose you can say this cooking utensils is comparatively easy item because it takes little time, 30 minutes or something to make, and the ingredients are very fast. Like with the gold token, I can easily make 12 for 13 15 utensils maybe. Then I can use it here, so I can stack up my other buildings with this item by not doing this, and at the end, or maybe after 3 or 4 building, when I'm getting it, I'm doing it at a time. That can boost up a little, and that way I can use this sequence or programming or whatever it is of this SimCity task coming sequence. I can use it and make it in my own benefit. So that is another one. So this number 10 tip, that is the sequence which is coming one by one, if you don't do it, you have to find out your own way. The second one, that is that I said right now, that let it happen and stack up, I didn't follow it yet. I'm not sure it will work or not, but I think it might work. Maybe some of you guys cases, if you try, maybe it will work. And I'm trying not to make it happen, and I came up to this far. I recently got 164 points and 9 hours left. I think I can go to the 200 points. I wish I will get this 200 points and get my second gold tower. So these are the 10 tips that I wanted to share with you guys. I hope it will help you. This is 2020. I don't know, it will maybe it might change these things in future, because 3-4 years back I have seen some of the things, some of the videos that are not right now, those are not existing. So those things are not applicable right now, so this video might not be applicable in the future. Maybe the sequence will be gone after this video is uploaded, I'm not sure. So let me know if these tips helps you in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe my channel because I will be coming with more videos of Simcity Buildit. So thank you, bye bye.